So, good evening, good evening, everyone. I hope you join me this evening, and I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Sound check one, two, so I can hear myself. So, good evening, everyone, for joining me this evening. I remain your host, Mazes Okay, here. And this evening, as you can see from my lower banner there, this topic this evening is what has been trending, and that's what has been bothering me as well. I got a video yesterday where I listened to the testimonies of DJ Switch, and I heard that she's seeking asylum in Canada, and that she's giving testimony as well as to as it concerns what happened. So honestly, when I looked at that, I thought to myself, hmm, how did we get here that a group of people, our brothers and our sisters, our children, who have come out to um, demand to basically demand to just basically stay alive. How come we they have been punished in this manner to the point that DJ Switch now is seeking refuge elsewhere? And you think, for some reason, honestly, somehow I believe that we are getting back to draconian era, that people can no longer speak up, and air their views. And you keep wondering, it's gradually, and we appear to be sliding down slow and steady. Can you imagine that we had the northern governors, and sadly, the southern governors has actually joined them, converge with the traditional rulers. And what they were talking about is how to regulate the social media space. Now, this is a region where bandits run amok. This is a region where Boko Haram, um, do assaults people anyhow. This is a region where hunger is the capital of hunger is the order of the day. Where you have Amajerism, where they haven't come up with how they want to deal with Amajiri and the maintenance thereof or therefrom. And their problem is that these people who have organized ENDSars, they were able to do this without any help because of how they have felt over the years. These were people who never for once believed that the government is representing their interest. Yeah? And here they are doing their own thing, eh? Doing their own thing, and suddenly what we hear from the government is for the government to say that they are going to deal with them. I mean, that is against the spirit of sportsmanship. Government agreed to the 5 point agenda. Why go after them? There are many of them now in hiding. Every single one of them is in hiding. Now, when we talk about the Lekki shooting, DJ Switch, I heard, has left Nigeria. That she is seeking, I don't know if she has been given asylum in Canada, as she testifies before a Canadian parliament. Initially when I read that, I thought, is it one of those things? But I never appeared to believe that until I saw her video. I will play the video for us. Before I do, let me continue and let more people join us so we can play the video. We see the evil intention here. And people have been asking, who is DJ Switch? She's no other person but a disc jockey girl, Obianuju Catherine Ude. I reckon she's from Enugu State, better known as DJ Switch. And everybody's saying, "Oh, why did she run away? I mean, why would she? Why would she go on? Why wouldn't she go underground?" While she was speaking with that subcommittee on international human rights of the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Development of Canada Parliament, she confirmed that men of the Nigerian military shot unarmed protesters at Lekki tollgate on on Tuesday, the 28th of October. You remember the day we had over 7 hours non-stop broadcast because the moment and the more we had those gunshots, I mean, it sent every one of us into panic mode. How could a government do that to its own people? Again, I will let us listen to this. She stated again once more that soldiers opened fire on protesters after creating a three formation line. Three formation line as if you're going, you just landed in Zambiza forest from a parachute or what? Unarmed children, unarmed youth. And people are saying, I know many people commenting online saying, "Oh wow, these are fake. Nobody was shot or nobody was killed." Listen, when you talk about massacre, when you talk about something like that, you talk about intent. When you sent soldiers and they had to do this three-line formation, what were they trying to do? Some people said, "Oh, they were shooting up to scare the people," and I'm like, suddenly, the Nigerian soldiers get assembled to shoot up, as if the Nigerian youth have suddenly become people of Edo that can fly upstairs. So that's how those people hit, those people with bullet wounds. How were they? How did that bullet wound hit them? They were flying up in the air. If the soldiers were shooting in the air, that means the youth were also flying. They just hit by bullet. I mean, common sense sometimes. I don't know how common sense has departed us. Honestly, you cannot help to wonder what manner of nation is this. And you think you've just seen it all. Suddenly you hear that Sam, Adeyemi, Davido, Tuface, Kanu, Joe Abba, and a couple of others that I think Fowles as well, and Macaroni, that they were all sued for the ENDSars protest. And the one that broke my heart is that it was said that the suit was brought by an activist, a human rights activist. And I'm like, no wonder sometimes, if I refer to them as human rights activists, some of them will get angry because what manner of human rights are you protesting that you don't even know the basic thing that you ought to know? Were the people being governed all right? No wonder people said during the protest, basically you saw that it moved from the 5 points to into many things, and hence the northern politicians saying, "Oh, this is a protest against the north." It's a clear indication that we do not want same thing in this nation. People never cared who the president, who the governor. They don't care. All they want is to be treated right. And suddenly you want to make it an ethnic thing. Oh, is the South? The South want to take the presidency from us. By the way, what's the benefit of the presidency to you? You still have the highest number of ignorant and illiterate people in Nigeria. Yes, and this is honestly sometimes words fail me. How we get to this point, I can't say that enough. Sometimes words fail me. how we got to this point, because I keep wondering, how did we get here? How? I keep wondering, how did we get here? Let me see if I can. Let me just quickly grab DJ's Switch's video, so that we can look at her own testimony. And that should, and that's what, that's one thing that I think should worry every single one of us. No one. We've seen now the panel of inquiry, or judicial panel of inquiry, that was started by the Lagos State government is already kaput even before it started. Anyway, let me let me get her up here. Okay, so let me quickly get this up and see if that will work. Okay, yeah. So that's myself here. So this is the testimony, or rather her testimony. Let me zoom that, so that we can all see her when she comes up. Now, listen and listen attentively here, people. Listen and listen attentively, because something like this, the more I think about it, the more I think it's really sickening. It's really sickening, to say the least. So, but let's hear DJ Switch. Let's hear out.
And then on that, being able to send in documents, please, any documents, any information that you would like to send through the clerk. Now we're going to move to questions, and the members are going to have an opportunity to ask the witnesses questions. We're starting with Ms. Ikra Khalid from the Liberal Party.
Thank you very much,
for 7
Mr.
minutes.
Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and I thank all of the witnesses here for your very compelling testimony. I would like to start by giving Ms. Switch the opportunity to finish her narrative of the events that Ms. Ojigo also highlighted as well. Ms. Switch, take your time, but I hope that you'll leave me some time to ask some follow-up questions. Just your remarks also, if you can address the Cybercrime Act in Nigeria and its impact on your advocacy in the online space as well. So please go ahead, Ms. Switch.
Okay, so just to quickly round that up, so like you said, I can leave you some time. We were able to sort of hold our ground, and then the military left after a commandant came, and we got his name. I think they must have, we just guessed they must have found out that there were a lot of people that were watching what was going on. But 45 or 50 minutes later, the police came and did the same thing and actually killed people. So that's just to wrap it up as quickly as possible. With regards to cybercrime in Nigeria, I think that's if I understand your question. Yes, it's a problem. It is a problem. And just like I said when I started speaking, that we've got something about Nigerians. We're very hardworking, and we have this survival, instinct at every level. There's this desperate need to survive.
Exactly.
And not excusing that act, because it is criminal, but all I'm saying is something led to something. And there's not enough sensitization. There's not enough education, for people to understand what they can use their skills for actually. So it's a broad scope. It's something that needs to be addressed for intelligent people in Nigeria who don't use it for anything but to do criminal things online. Just to address that, yeah.
Thank you. And Ms. Switch, if you can identify and highlight for us, what has your life been like since that fateful day? And
now, people, here, what you are looking at is the interrogation. Okay, you can see that obviously that she's been questioned here. Now, pay attention once more to the response she will now give from this moment henceforth.
and how you are doing after that fact.
I've been on the move because it was 2 days after my live. The first threat came in. I thought it was a joke. I sincerely thought it was a joke. I was on my way home, because I had been on the street for 2 days straight. But just as I was leaving, because some of my colleagues in the same industry as I am tried to come get me out of the hospital, I was sort of vouching for one of the boys that we took in there. He was shot in the neck by a policeman. And just as I left, I got a phone call telling me I should please leave the vicinity, that there were military men at the hospital. And I think they found that out because on my story as well, I was thanking the manager of the hospital for letting us into his hospital and for treating us for free. So I think that's how they got that information. So I had to abandon my home. I moved from people's homes, like different places. I stayed in someone's property that they hadn't lived in for a long time. And then just to get out of Nigeria, I made short videos of my trip, just getting to where I am today. And I'm still traveling.
I don't know if this is network.
So I'm not even done with my trip. And it's like,
Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up from a different way. Okay, let me see if I can pull this up.
in the forest.
So, okay. It appears the network is a little bit crackling. Oh, I might get a better version of it. Hold on, let me see if I can, uh, obviously something is coming in from my device. I hope it works. Please pardon me. Let me see if I can quickly pull that one out so that because I think I need us to hear the entire story. Honestly, I do not want this crackling to continue, and let me see if I can pull this from a different source file so that we can understand what we are up against. And the reason is, I want to encourage everyone watching me this evening that what the government is trying to do is for everyone, you and I, to stop talking. No, they want us to stop talking about what happened. Now, again, it's not for me to basically determine if somebody died or not, but it is for us all to question why, in the first place, did the military invade civilian space? Maybe because we have kept quiet for a long time, that the same thing keep repeating itself. And at some point, we must say enough is enough. For Christ's sake, at some point, we must say that. So, here, hold on quickly. Okay, let me bring in a more clearer warning. I hope this works now.
No, and then on that,
Okay.
being able to send in documents, please, any documents, any
No.
information that you would like to
So this is a
send
more
through
clearer
the
one. So
the
I
clerk.
need to start.
Now we're going to
part
move to questions, and the members are going to have
It
an
works.
opportunity to ask
So
the
now
witnesses
listen very
questions.
carefully.
We're starting with Ms. Ikra Khalid from the Liberal Party
Thank you very much,
for 7
Mr.
minutes.
Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and I thank all of the witnesses here for your very compelling testimony. I would like to start by giving Ms. Switch the opportunity to finish her narrative of the events that Ms. Ojigo also highlighted as well. Ms. Switch, take your time, but I hope that you'll leave me some time to ask some follow-up questions. Just in your remarks, also, if you can address the Cybercrime Act in Nigeria and its impact on your advocacy in the online space as well. So please go ahead, Ms. Switch.
Okay, so just to quickly round that up, so like you said, I can leave you some time. We were able to sort of hold our ground, and then the military left after a commandant came, and we got his name. I think they must have, we just guessed they must have found out that there were a lot of people that were watching what was going on. But 45 or 50 minutes later, the police came and did the same thing and actually killed people. So that's just to wrap it up.
Did you hear that? That the military came and actually they killed people. Let her continue.
Quickly as possible. With regards to cybercrime in Nigeria, I think that's if I understand your question. Yes, it's a problem. It is a problem. And just like I said when I started speaking, that we've got something about Nigerians. We're very hardworking, and we have this survival, instinct at every level. There's this desperate need to survive, and not excusing that act because it is criminal, But all I'm saying is something led to something, and there's not enough sensitization. There's not enough education, for people to understand what they can use their skills for actually. So it's a broad scope. It's something that needs to be addressed for intelligent people in Nigeria who don't use it for anything but to do criminal things online. Just to address that, yeah.
Thank you. And Ms. Switch, if you can identify and then highlight for us, what has your life been like since that fateful day, and how you are doing after that fact?
I've been on the move because it was 2 days after my live. The first threat came in. I thought it was a joke. I sincerely thought it was a joke. I was on my way home, because I had been on the street for 2 days straight. But just as I was leaving, because some of my colleagues in the same industry as I am tried to come get me out of the hospital, I was sort of vouching for one of the boys that we took in there. He was shot in the neck by a policeman. And just as I left, I got a phone call telling me I should please leave the vicinity, that there were military men at the hospital. And I think they found that out because on my story as well, I was thanking the manager of the hospital for letting us into his hospital and for treating us for free. So I think that's how they got that information. So I had to abandon my home. I moved from people's homes, like different places. I stayed in someone's property that they hadn't lived in for a long time. And then just to get out of Nigeria, I made short videos of my trip, just getting to where I am today. And I'm still traveling, so I'm not even done with my trip.
You say just to get out of Nigeria. That statement alone confirms that she's no longer in Nigeria. Okay? That statement alone confirms that she's no longer in.
And it's like it's like in a forest just to get out of Nigeria. I still, when I put a cotton bud in my left ear, I bleed from there. I have a picture of that as well. I've been trying to document everything. I barely sleep. It's crazy. I can imagine parents who actually can't find their kids now because they've moved bodies. So I don't know.
Thank you for sharing that, Ms. Switch. I really, really hope that things improve. I'll turn to Ms. Ojigo with respect to your comments about Amnesty International and your ability to operate in Nigeria. You had mentioned that you've been asked to leave the country. We've seen, and you also mentioned that this ENDSars movement is not new. What is different in this instance that has brought such large volumes of protests that has really highlighted this issue within the Nigerian people?
Thank you very much. I'll start with your last question. A lot of things have been building up in Nigeria in the last couple of years. So it was in 2017 that the ENDSars hashtag started trending online. Last year, there was a visit by the Special Rapporteur of the United Nations on extrajudicial unlawful killing. And in her preliminary observations, she noted that the lack of accountability in Nigeria for crimes committed by the state officials is actually leading to that we're actually sitting on a keg of gunpowder. So the early warning signs have been there for a pretty long time, and it's kind of like peaked, showing that the government needed to address this issue. If people complain, you need to ensure that justice is served. So I guess that when that video on the 3rd of October was trending, people just had enough. And also because that month happened to be our independence anniversary month as well. Nigeria is celebrating 60 years of independence. So for young people, it's like, what's the future going to look like? I think there was a lot of mixed feelings celebrating our independence from Britain. So all of this culminated in addition to we're experiencing one of the worst economic recession of all times in recent times. Prices of things have gone up. So people are like, we can't even walk free on our streets. So we need justice to happen. With regards to the threat to Amnesty International, it's by a group that we suspect is being sponsored by the Nigerian military. We've not been able to directly link them together, but we've been having threats. We've been having staged protests in front of Amnesty offices whenever we release reports. And we've noticed that it's always when there's been a report linked to the military, we'll just have protesters in front of our office. And we have videos to show that afterwards they go and share money and then they leave. But why this threat is particularly worrying for us is not because they've asked us to leave Nigeria. They've asked us many times to do that. But because we are coming out of a period where there's been wanton killings and destruction of property across the country. We've been campaigning against the police.
Thank you.
And so we feel the people that.
Okay, so let me stop this video here because we get down to the real deal here, people. So if you listen to this, what DJ Switch is saying is that she's basically have left Nigeria. Now, this is, many of you who were not born during the time of Delegiwa, during the time of MKO Abiola, and you might be reading in the newspapers, you might hear them say how they left Nigeria. Even the current governor of Ekiti State was the one in charge of dumping refuge. So at night they will hire tipper, take refuge, go to Third Mainland Bridge and pour it, just to upset the military. That is, remember again, these were people organizing sustained protest. They opened, and he was one of those that operated Radio Kudrat. Dele Mamudu was one of those that, joined. Even Bola Ahmed Tinubu was one of those. That's why, when it became so much, they all left the country. So it's not like the leaders you have today, because I still remember vividly, like yesterday in 2008, how El-Rufai, the current Kaduna state governor, how he was in London holding his passport. Google it. El-Rufai, Nigerian passport, London. Just Google it. You will see here where he was holding his passport, being shown on Sahara TV, then 2008, under Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. He was running away, or rather, the then Umaru Musa Yar'Adua's government was not palatable with him, and to a point that he said, when Yar'Adua died, that anyone that fights him dies, something like that, quote unquote, So if you understand, what am I trying to say? If we understand that, we would then understand that it is not something new. Fighting for you to stay, because power is not given. Even the Christians will tell you, and they say that the kingdom of God suffereth violent, and only violent people take it, that violent take it by force. Meaning, nothing good will be given to you until you fight for it. Why the 5 points now in question? Why did the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria not discuss this 5-point ab initio. This is a nation that turned 60, because actually, as this woman from Amnesty International rightly pointed out here, one of the reasons, because people don't, when we think deep, ENDSars, if you go to Sege Link on Twitter, the guy, Shegun, the guy behind ENDSars, behind ENDSars since, it's been ongoing, but why did it trigger in October? Because suddenly we turned 60. The day we turned 60, you saw the ethnic nationalities protesting for the first time jointly. You saw the Biafrans, the Oduduwas, protesting in London, protesting in Ottawa, protesting everywhere in Asia, protesting in Canada, in America, saying that they are no longer Nigerians. 3 days later, after this protest, somebody again was shot in Delta State. A man who had lived in the north for so many years now comes down to his own place he considers his fatherland. And that is how he lost his son. So these, people sitting at home thinking, in 60 years' time, our security that we pay with our own money are still treating us as if we are slaves, even worse than what the British could have done to us. So that is, it's like a chain reaction of leadership failure. Leadership has failed us consistently. Hence, when the people said enough is enough, not many people know that goats can bite. Because, after all, the Nigerian youths are lazy. They amount to nothing. But again, the lazy youth showed you that goats can also bite. Because when you push a goat to the wall, he sees no other means of escape. Then be ready to deal with whatever the goat comes up with. And that is what has happened in this case. It's that simple. The youth said enough is enough. On this channel, I had a woman from Mpo in Anambra State. Her son, Lotano Keke, killed in 2019 November. His body deposited at Nnewi Teaching Hospital. You killed his son. You killed a woman's son, her son, SARS or Kozo. So many people don't even know. When you saw that people were angry with SARS or Kozo, it was like a dead, people were just taking their own pound of flesh because it has been a terror. Yes, there was an incident that had to do with cultists. But this guy is a boy that worked with Anambra State Environmental Agency. You took him alive. The parents saw him. Suddenly you shot him. Your argument is, oh, he argued with me. And so what? So freaking what if he argued with you? Are you God? Or even if he's God? I can't imagine that a human being could basically delete another human being on the ground that not that we found out that he committed a crime and was, you took him. No, you didn't take him to court. It's just that you can do it, that nothing will happen. To the point that the man in question is telling the mother that, yeah, nothing will happen. What if a boy of 20 years old? You killed him and you see nothing will happen? Not only in Anambra, the same thing happens in Lagos, everywhere. Why do you think the people of Oshobo were so angry? It felt like Oshobo was the height of the protest in terms of, the level of anger shown. Why? You think because they just woke up, they don't like police, they don't like SARS. It's just an injustice done to them over time. I had once on this channel told us where I think this high-handedness is coming from. This high-handedness is coming as a result of Aba Women riot of 1929. When our mothers were protesting in Aba, the British authorities sent police from the eastern region. When the police got there, what they saw were their mothers, their sisters, and their daughters. They couldn't shoot them. They couldn't. They couldn't deal with them. What happened? The British had to go to the Midwest and Northern Nigeria and brought in constables, special constables. When special constables came in, one, they didn't understand the language. They had no affinity. They have no love. They just looked at these people. Oh, you are trying to obstruct the way this nation is being governed. Do. The first time, you had casualties from both sides. You had casualties from both sides. Our women, our mothers, may their souls rest in peace. You killed them. The men somehow joined the women. Some of the police also died. That was the genesis where the British colonial masters now knew, because people don't know. When we talk about state police, people don't know. It's how the genesis started. You now have police has to go from Castina to Delta to go and be commissioner of police. You go from Makodi, you go to Bayelsa to be commissioner of police. It's absolutely insanity. When we took over from the British in 1960, because the founding fathers were in a hurry, they did not look at this, sadly, not, I'll put it this way, they didn't actually understand how the reasoning behind the Britain putting this useless police force in this structure. That's why it's called police force, not service. Police force, because it means they will police you by force and they will deal with you by force. Have you seen them? What's their logo? Elephant. You think they are stupid? Their logo is elephant because it's heavy. By force, they will crush you. When elephant steps on you, oh, sing kumbaya to your soul, because that's it. 6 feet down. That's all you need to get. So when we understand this thinking, why they are doing this, you now ask yourself, how are we 60 freaking years down the line, you are still keeping the same system? 60 years down the line, you are still maintaining the same system. It is insanity and it drives me nuts. Sometimes, let me calm down, because for the fact that we will be discussing this, that people came out peacefully. Let me see if I can find the other video where this girl made excellent point. They came out after protesting. Do you know what they do? They clean up. Every day they come out for protest. After protesting, they clean up. And what did the government do? Now government is going house to house, arresting people. You think I'm kidding? There is another one actually on Channels TV today. This girl...
On Saturday the 7th, I got a call.
Now, listen to this one. His brother was arrested. You hear these things, it drives me nuts. What was his crime? Because he was part of those that demanded that you should leave. What is ENDSars? ENDSars is a cry to be alive. Remember how it felt. Remember the anger when George Floyd, somebody, put his knee on his neck and he was crying, I can't breathe. Mama, I can't breathe. That's excruciating pain is the way the heart feels like when you hear that someone who is just crying, I can't breathe. The police, the army, they are killing me. The people I pay to protect my kids are killing them. Mama, I can't breathe. That is what ENDSars stands for. And it breaks the heart that all our political, hallelujah, boys, you call them political leaders, and none of them could stand with the youth. None of them, no exception. All they are now trying to do is to censor social media. Oh, social media bill, social media bill. What manner of a people are we? Are we soulless? You see, that is the one that drives me nuts is north, south, east, west, all of them. That means they are united in your oppression. Why do you want to divide yourself in your defense? Why do you want to make it a Northern Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani affair? No. They are united in keeping you down, and you want to break yourself in fight? No. They are drawing a line of fight. They are the ones. Just let's listen to this testimony today. I mean,
some minutes past 7 a.m. from a man. He said he was formerly a church member. He said he had gone to our church, which used to be a GRA. We moved just before the lockdown to Ikpaja. So he said he was an old church member, and he went to our church in GRA and discovered that we were no more there. But he had a parcel for my dad, who is the pastor of the church. He said he has, saying that we were no more there, he came to Allen where we stay. So I'm like, okay, church member or old church member, parcel for the pastor. All right, it's fine. He said he was at Sholanke. I didn't know where Sholanke was. So I'm like, come to First Bank bus stop. He said he didn't know where First Bank bus stop was. So I'm like, okay, come to the front of First Bank. I'll just walk from my house. On getting there, I noticed I couldn't really place his face. I'm like, okay, benefit of doubt. I may not necessarily know everybody in my father's church. I got close. The parcel he was holding wasn't really looking like a parcel. It was just black nylon. Some things were inside. So I already felt unease. I knew something was different or something was wrong. So I just asked him, okay, how can I help you? And the next thing he said, he's looking for Peter. That's my brother's name. They're looking for my brother. Why? While I was still asking, next thing I hear, these are my men. I turn around and I see 3 other men. So I was surrounded by 4 men. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Said he's looking for Peter. They did a business with him. They bought commodities from him. They transferred money to...
Now, listen. These are people you call security services. You're trying to arrest someone. You have them here lying that they want to deliver something. Someone who does not have any business, that he doesn't engage in any buy and sell. Now you're telling the sister that you want to deliver something. That's what they are. That's just
his account, his Zenith account, to show that they knew he had his Zenith account, and he didn't deliver the commodities. I'm like, my brother doesn't sell anything, so this story I'm not buying. My brother is a musician. He's a philanthropist. He's the owner of Belefu Nigeria on Instagram. He takes care of the less privileged, motherless babies, different things. He feeds the hawkers on the road. His track record is on his page on Instagram, Belefu Nigeria. That is who he is. So you saying you bought something from him, you transferred money to his account, and he didn't pay.
Let me address this. Ola George, thank you very much, Ola, for being part of this program. He said, don't ever dream of 2023. The North wants to retain the power for another 8 years. I just pray it can happen. I just pray the North can actually retain power for 20 years. I just, if it's, I would give out free drink. I just wish it happens, because that would accelerate our liberation. Let them hold on to power. I so wish.
I knew that was some cooked up story. So why exactly are you looking for my brother? And then he said, I should take him to my house, that they need to see my brother. Like, sir, I can't take you to my house. You have to...
Now, this is his brother here. You remember, many of you must have seen the video trending where you have him and the other guy that has a machete. Now, this man you're looking at here, or boy or man, is being traced because he partook in he lent his voice in demanding to be alive, to be governed better. The one that's supposed to be behind bar now, you saw the exhibit in his hands with the machete, going after those engaging in peaceful protest is alive. Is well and good. No one. Why? Because your guess is as good as mine. That's why. And you tell me why wouldn't people just get pissed off of this name?
Why you want to see my brother? While I was still talking, next thing, 3 trucks, 3 Hilux pull up with their Oga that led them, CSP Hamzat. When he came down, every other person came down. 2 people.
Please, for those of you watching me and commenting, please can you give this video a like? YouTube likes the algorithm. So as we continue, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do, where we keep things on this channel real and we only deal on facts on this channel. No fake news, no hype. Please give this video a like. Thank you very much. And as we continue,
2 of the Hilux were in front of the first bank. 1 was on the other side of the road. And all of them came down. I'm like, madam, why are you delaying? I'm like, okay, it was like a movie. What's going on right now? And then the one that was calling me was trying to play good cop, bad cop. And Shebi, I was telling you, you should have listened to us first. At least we did not carry uniform. We could not carry any gun. You should have listened to us first. Now these ones have come. I'm like, she still asked me to get into the car. I didn't want to go into that car because... So I just asked the guy that made the call. I'm like, my house is close by, let's just walk. My house is close by, let's just walk. So they deceived me, in quotes, to get to my brother. They pulled me out to get to my brother. When they got to the house, they were still telling the story of how they bought commodity from him and he didn't deliver. Even when the lawyer came in, because we started making calls there and then, some people came in. Even when the lawyer came in, the lawyer still asked them, are you here to effect an arrest? And he said no.
and they denied again.
And still they took my brother away that same day.
What reason did they give for his arrest?
That same story is what they were saying. But when they got to, but I knew that that story wasn't true. But when they got to the station, they now said it was because of the ENDSars protest. There was someone that was in the house amongst the people that were able to call together that day, is SSS. When he asked me, I told him, Pop, I'm playing. I said, I'm sure that this is about the ENDSars protest.
Now, you see how your fellow citizen was arrested. For what? For engaging in protest. Now they came to arrest him and they lied. They lied and they arrested him. How does that work? What manner of nation does this to her own? What manner of nation? What manner of nation does this to her own? I think I've got the other video I was looking for. Let me bring it in. That's again DJ Switch. Why I want to bring her back again for this part of this video that I didn't play before is for us to understand something. She clearly said it, that it hurts me to say that when government now addresses ENDSars, ENDSars is now being addressed with violence. Oh, they destroyed properties. Again, I say it. Many of you didn't like it before. I'll keep saying it. Not for once did I advocate for breaking of, destroying police stations like the ones they've destroyed in Anambra State. We are taxing ourselves to rebuild them because it's our money. At least in my part of Southeast, there is no federal presence. The buildings, the police stations we have are built by the communities. We contribute money. The electricity pole in my house, we buy them. The cable that brought electricity in my community in Anambra State, we paid for it, community, not police. So destroying them is destroying your own thing. Not for 1 second did I support any atom of violence. But the people had the right to protest. And they were doing it just like as DJ Sweet said. They were doing it like human beings, people with common sense. until the government came in and until the government did what they did. They started with Abuja. Suddenly, people woke up, go to protest. Their cars, windows, glasses smashed. But the Nigerian youth showed them who is Oga. Calmly, they replaced everybody's glasses. You know, your windshield, your indicators, everything replaced. The government thought this can be. They now went in. We all saw them. They go get cucumbers and carrots. Put them in, people who haven't seen air condition in their life, put them in DSS SUVs. Black SUVs, over 20 million. You take it and grab people. Give them stakes to come and attack fellow citizens for what? Fellow citizens. And you know the worst part? One of the videos from Sahara Reporters, the first day that happened, I think about 3 of them or so lost their life. The other ones were taken because the people had to fight back at some stage. When I watched that video, I pitied the boys themselves because you see what poverty has done. And that is what the politicians want them, the way the politicians want them to remain, for their brains to be configured in that backwards manner. They said they were paid 1,500. So 1,500, some of them 500. You were paid to come and destroy your own future, to kill your own brother. Maybe they don't even know what they are doing because, honestly, it's very hard for me to comprehend. It is very hard for me to comprehend.
Spirited, focused, united in one
Let me bring,
goal.
sorry, okay, I bring back DJ Switch here. Let's start from the beginning and pay attention.
Spirited, focused, united in one
for those of you
goal.
who hasn't liked the video,
Against
we are getting
injustice,
to over
against
500
police brutality, against bad
now.
governance.
Please like
What
the
started
video.
out as a protest against police brutality, especially the unit called SARS, unfortunately just degenerated into something I still find it hard to reconcile with in my heart.
Me too.
I remember being there at the protest. I was on stage with some beautiful organizers of that particular day's event. And we were informed that there was a curfew for 3 p.m. I do remember that there was outrage on Twitter because it was short notice.
Of course,
the curfew, I think we got the information at about noon that day. And so we said, look, people came from all over Lagos. It was thousands of people there. The best thing we can do if people can't make it home, we'll sit still, don't do anything, don't move, we'll sit left. She came back some 30 minutes later to inform, speak to us. You should kindly come to the toll gate and address Nigerians because we've been out. So we also got information later that the governor wanted to see me and 6 other people. And I remember saying to them that we have no leader. If the governor wanted to speak to us, he should kindly come to the toll gate and address Nigerians because we've been out for over 11 days. And then the lady that came to give us the information, I do not remember her name at this time, left. She came back some 30 minutes later to inform us that the curfew had been canceled and moved to 9 p.m. I remember telling the people there this information and people cheered. While this was going on, another member that was standing behind me came up to me and said, someone is taking out the cameras from the toll gate. And I said, do you recognize who? Because we had, I think the real heart of Nigerians there. We did not destroy anything except for graffiti.
Now, did you hear that? Her testimony is in line with what every one of us with an atom of gray matter is in between the skull. They destroyed nothing. They burnt nothing. They were there protesting to be heard. They were there demanding for their right to live. They were there demanding for a future for you and I, for our children born and yet to unborn, to be, yet unborn. And what happened? Rather than listen to them, the government sent hoodlum. Reason why I'm doing this broadcast, because no one knows tomorrow. We don't know when we're going to leave this earth. It must be on record that each and every one of us that has platform must lend their voice. This is a way. Before now, when a coup occurred in 1966, and that coup somehow was tagged that certain people did that coup. Before our own eyes, this narrative is changing. We must sustain it, that the right narrative be maintained, that the world must consistently know what happened. We cannot allow it, we cannot all be alive and keep quiet for this to happen. They destroyed nothing. Yes, what they did, I saw, everyone saw that graffiti on the floor, on the roads, that when you leave them, when rain comes 1 2 months, and car tires go on them 1 2 weeks, it's not everything is gone. Graffiti is used all over the world. It doesn't damage the road. What damages the road is when you do bonfire. Again, I do not support that. I do not support any form of destruction. But destruction only happened because government was the one behind it. So that is what government doesn't want to hear, because government is the one behind violence.
We did not take anything from the toll gate. We cleaned up after ourselves.
Because they cleaned
so we
up.
wanted to be sure it wasn't happening. Well, it wasn't a protester that was doing that. And then we found out that it was one of the staff, or, he had the LCC uniform. Those are the people that manage the toll gate. So he took a picture just to keep and, to sort of use as proof that we didn't destroy or take anything. And then we realized that the big billboard that is over the toll gate had been turned off. And so just before 7, it was like to 7, maybe 6:45, not too sure on the exact time, but to 7, we heard gunshots coming from behind. At first it was chaotic because we didn't know where the gunshots were coming from. We didn't know what the gunshots were about. And then the lights went off. I think the rest of that is just the most tragic thing. I thought I was going to die. I thought we're all going to die. And it was in that moment that I said, let me go live on Instagram. So,
see, without even listening to this, the day that happened, I said, the way she went live, that was not scheduled. So something happened. Just like myself that day, the moment I started hearing the shooting, unplanned, scheduled, I started a Zoom. I sent out the link. I said, whoa, this is happening. And everybody joined. The same thing is what people want. What are these old people who cannot even use common email or use WhatsApp? What they don't know is that people can begin now to stream. Now that I'm streaming, I'm talking. You people are making comments. I'm reading the comments. We are conversing. And this is being streamed live. Somebody will now say, oh, Mazi manipulated this. If anything was happening now, my eyes blink, 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 and say Mazi manipulated his blinking. There was no way this girl can manipulate a live stream on Instagram, because it was not planned. An hour ago, she never knew she would stream. 10 minutes ago, before she started the stream, she never knew she would stream. She was just there. She explained it here. So this is one thing, the memory card of those in governance. Maybe that's what their memory card cannot comprehend.
See what happened to us. People see where we were killed. I just believed that was what was going to happen. And I remember the military came in first. They stopped shooting at some point, and I walked up to one of them and I asked him why he was shooting at us. And he said he had express orders from above, and that I was coming too close to him. And if I came too close, it would be considered an attack on him and he would have to shoot. So I moved back and asked everyone to move back. It didn't take maybe another 10 minutes, the shooting started again. I remember seeing 7 people that had been shot down. And
that's enough, because that one breaks me. 7 people that has been shot down, your fellow citizens. Their crime. That they came out together to say, we want to stay alive. ENDSars protest is a protest of saying we want to stay alive. We aren't criminals. We're not saying don't go after criminals. We're not saying that. I haven't seen anyone carrying placards saying release, what's it called, Evans. You know, I haven't seen anyone carrying placards saying release bandits or Boko Haram. Come on, go after criminals. Go after criminals. But the thing here is very simple. There was no reason. And, the maddest of all this madness, actually, is this. The maddest of all this madness is the following. Let me show us. I don't know if that one is the one that actually broke me entirely. That is the maddest of all the madness. Is that now we have a government that is planning to, bring every single one that engaged or supported this activity to the point that, they used someone, sadly, my Igbo brothers, sadly, they used someone with an Igbo name. Iberiba Joka. This is the height of Iberiberism. Someone is being used against his own brothers to go to court, say that he's an activist. Now we have, what is it called again? We have here, Sam Adeyemi, Davido, Tuface, 48 others. They are suing them for ENDSars protest. An activist by name, Kenechukwu Okeke, has filed a criminal complaint for a chief magistrate court in Abuja against 50 persons for their alleged role in ENDSars protests that took place last month. Those listed as defendants include a musician, Danini Ogulu, aka Burna Boy, David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, Florin Falana, that is a Falz, that's a Femi Falana's son. Well, it's good. All these people will get legal defense free of charge. And social media comedian, Debo Adebayo, the one they call Macaroni. And you have Mariam Agbogegi, aka Tuama. We have others that he was included. That is a P Square, the Peter and Paul, or rather Peter and Paul Okoye. Innocent Idibia, aka Tuface. Bankola, Bankole Wellington, popularly known as Banky W. T.Y. Savage. Michael Ajela, aka Don Jazzy, and Yemi Alade. In the year 2020, someone is actually thinking like this, or someone allowed himself to be used for this. In the sad part is that in supporting that, he actually swore an affidavit to support this madness, right? He actually swore an affidavit. And that the first that is number 1 to 50 accused persons, that they were between the 3rd of October. Remember, pay attention, 3rd October, the day this young man was killed in Delta, right? 3rd of October and the 28th of October, that they used Twitter, they used internet, and they used whatever that is under whichever jurisdiction, and they were promoting it, and they were acting in such a manner with intent. Now, and this is where the madness comes in, with intent to assist in the promotion of ENDSars, and thereby committed an offense punishable under Section 97, subsection 2 of the Penal Code, C5, C53, Law of the Federal Government of Nigeria, 2014. And the yati yalla continued. I could have forgiven, there are people if that was coming from certain quarters, you could go ahead and say, well, you're not bothered. It is given. But to note that this is coming from my own Igbo brother, wallahi, I think I need to go back and research because I can't wrap my head around why someone with common sense will look at his fellow youth and want to sue them for exercising their rights as human beings, exercising their rights. And what he did was to now say they are the ones that have caused carnage. And I say, did your brain go on holiday when carnage was caused in Nigeria? Or did you not know, or did you not see who caused the carnage? The people that were protesting, Owerri, for instance, Owerri was the city of protest with music. The best coverage we ever had. Our reporter in Owerri, I think if many of you will remember, many people were actually commenting, oh, well, why is Owerri dancing? Owerri was peaceful. People were dancing. We saw in Enugu, what's it called? Fino, Zoro, and Flavor. They were there. It was carnival. Why was it carnival like? Because they didn't want to cause trouble. They were protesting peacefully. They were protesting. The same thing the day they went into Oka, they closed down Oka, they went into Oka. The governor came out, addressed them, they registered their disgust of what was happening. And that was how they had their protest. Now, this is the list here. See this list. This is the list. The useless people are now saying these are the people that are involved. These are the faces of them. And I looked at this, and I honestly, I couldn't believe that we would have people really being silly to the point of producing something like this. Right? I never believed that we would have people being silly, stupid. You see them here, Kanu Nwankwo, Aisha Yusufu, even Joaba, even Omojua. Omojua is there. Everyone. Tuface is, oh, okay, this one even has Fino. And you think, I think somehow government is working so hard for second phase of ENDSars to come. Somehow. Because what they are doing defies logic. Simple logic. It defies simple logic. One would expect that at this time, government should want to curry favor from those that they have offended over the years. Because the youths protesting are the ones you have offended over the years by your failure and your inability to offer them succor, to offer them hope. You have not given them anything. And they protested. What you now want to do is to punish them. I don't know how to translate this adage. If you can, put in the comment section. But there is an adage in Igbo that says, "Ọnwụ ga-egbu nkịta arekwe n'isi nsị." If you can translate, please go ahead. But I can't. Ọnwụ ga-egbu nkịta arekwe n'isi nsị. Because when a government is so hell-bent on self-destruct, you're going after people that have just basically demanded for their right to be heard. I asked someone, would there be any burning of NPA? In as much as I condemn the act, there was no need to burn TVC, burn NPA, burn toll gates, anything. But would that thing have happened if government did not invite thugs? If government did not pay thugs, if government did not invite thugs to go and disrupt this protest, would that have happened? And I believe it 1,000,000% of course, because they've been able to hold this protest for 11 good days and nothing happened. 11 days and nothing happened. They went on Fridays when Muslims want to pray. Everybody will be there. The Muslims will be praying. On Sunday, Christians will be there. They will have their own church service. They had mobile toilets. They have mobile DJs in trucks. Honestly, in conclusion, I will say the government, listen to Professor Patrick Lumumba. My friend Maya, the Ghanaian blogger as well, had a one-on-one with Professor Lumumba. And Professor Lumumba had the following to say. And I have said,
one in every 5 Africans.
Some of you who are watching me from the security section, I know, who cares? I see them, I know you. All I ask you this evening to do is please cut out this section and go and show your president if you want him to survive what the government is getting into. Because the way government is now going about this thing, government is clearly trying to put itself against its own citizens. We'll see. We are 2 million people. 2 million. In the last election, you had 84 million registered voters. 2 million people. Over 120 million are youths. 2 million people. Come on. You can't win this fight. You can't win this fight. Nigerians are very, demandless people. They don't even have demands. They don't. They're only asking you to treat them right. Nigerians don't even have any demand. They're not even making any demands. They are so peaceful. But listen to Professor Lumumba and what he has to say. And I believe those in authority, please listen to this and take action. And I agree with him 1,000,000%.
1 in every 5 Africans is a Nigerian by nationality. And I described it as the African heat. ENDSars has gone underground, is in comatose, and the government thinks that it has solved the problem. No. That was a state.
You see, exactly what I said 2 weeks ago. What the government has been able to do by the way they've handled ENDSars is to drive it underground. In the theory of iceberg, what you see at the surface could be just a tiny tip as opposed to what lies behind. Now, people just did 1, 2 thing, registering their anger. The government come with every strength in them, trying to suppress it. This is not 1984, 1985. This is not 1970, not 1966. This is 2020. The youths of then, and again, we do not, in those years, you don't have the diaspora support, the diaspora link that you have today in Nigeria. Government must address this and stop henceforth this oppressiveness, this pushing people to the wall. Government must stop. ENDSars has merely gone under. ENDSars has gone under by government's own violation because they are not willing to engage. They are not engaging because if you are engaging, you shouldn't be doing this thing you're doing. Picking every single supporter, anyone that ever spoke in support of them, you pick them up. No, that's not the way to go.
Solve the problem. No. That was a statement by young Nigerians that we are dissatisfied, that there are certain things that we want done.
Exactly.
I hope that the administration in Nigeria will, in a very programmatic manner, begin to address those issues. And when I say the day Nigeria wakes up, if you are 250 million people, some of the most educated men and women in the world, and
I can't agree less. Nigerians, if you don't know, if you haven't been out of the four shores of this nation, Nigeria has the smartest people on earth. It's just that nation is, I don't know, it's kind of compressing people. I once told us a story here, my good friend Yemi from Southwest. I told us a story here. One of the best dentists you have, dental surgeon from Ibadan. I call him a brother because we all lived together in Germany, in Kiel. What happened? He left Germany after he did his master's, went home to work. The system home wanted to kill him. They came with juju. They came with assassins. They came with... Listen, the guy ran away. He ran from Germany. Now he's one of the best dental surgeons in Belgium. We have lost him. We have lost him. The nation has a way of killing dream, no matter how brilliant you are. And you are in this place. It squeezes life out of you. It makes you... Look, Hong Kong has been protesting for how many months? Hong Kong been protesting for how many months? We've never read that Hong Kong now goes house to house and fishes those protesters away. Even when Hong Kong, we know who governs them. The people that actually control Hong Kong are not even Democrats, but here you call yourself Federal Republic. Federal Republic, nonsense.
Nigerians. There are more Nigerian doctors in the United States of America and the United Kingdom than there are in Nigeria.
That's a fact.
There are Nigerian engineers, there are Nigerian teachers, there are Nigerian business people. I mean, Nigeria is the engine. The Nigerian population is larger than the population of all ECOWAS countries combined.
Yes. Fact.
That tells you that if you make Nigeria great, it will be a magnet. And that is why I think deliberate effort must be made to make Nigeria stable.
That is, Professor, what I have seen in the last 3 weeks makes the statement you made now, because people somehow believe that the ENDSars could be a shock that will be infused in the government to let them wake up. But the actions they are taking now means the government have learned absolutely nothing from the ENDSars. The government is still thinking, oh, these children, the southern children want to take away government. Listen, government of Buhari, it does not matter. It's not about Buhari. These ENDSars, to my northern friends and brothers, this ENDSars is not about Buhari, it's not about the north. It would have happened the same day, even more, if it was Osibajo, if it was Peter Obi, if it was Fayemi, if it was El-Rufai, it would still have happened. Nothing would have changed it. It would still have happened. Making it about Buhari is laughable. It shows our brains are not in the right places it ought to be. It's not about him. And sadly, like this, Professor Patrick Lumumba is saying, the government is not, when you say conscious effort, for the first time in the last 5 years of your administration, engage in strategy, rather than engage in the brains to get in gear. We look for how to get nail and nama machete and just begin to whack people. Come on.
Nigeria must also be renegotiated so that these tensions, I want the central administration to listen to what Nnamdi Kanu is saying.
Did you hear that? He wants the central administration to listen. Nigeria must be renegotiated. Honestly, let me not say much. Prof, please go on ahead. Go on. Let me rewind this. Nigeria must anyone who thinks that the Nigerians, you tell us our founding, which founding father, who and who? Did we ask the British to make this? Even if we did, England, the United Kingdom, on their own, they made application to join European Union. On their own, nobody forced them. On their own, they joined. On their own. At some point, they think the deal we are not getting doesn't suit us. Now, they are applied, went through referendum, and they're out of EU. Okay, 31st December, officially, that's when, whether deal or no deal, they deal with it with that, the way it is. Use United Kingdom as a case study. You have North, right? You have South. You have East. You have West. You have the Welsh people. They have the Welsh Parliament. Lockdown is in the, as I speak to you, lockdown is in England, but there is no lockdown in Scotland because it is considered a different nation, but it's still one. That's why it is the United Kingdom. If Nigeria has to make progress, the South has to get to a point of demanding outright self-determination, or you get to a point where the same principles that applies for United Kingdom has to apply. If the Western region wants to have their own embassy, if when we want to play African Cup of Nations, you have the Oduduwa representing the Southwest, they want to play against the Igbo nation to see who is going to qualify, because that's what happens. When they play UEFA or European whatever they play, you see Welsh will be in the same. Yet though, it is United Kingdom. But when it comes to football, Welsh will play, Scotland will play, England will play, Northern Ireland will play. But sadly, those ones are not, they don't know how to play very well. That's why they always get kicked off. But imagine that happening. Imagine that happening. Imagine what will happen. The old Eastern region stays together and they will go to, listen, that means the current Southern Nigeria will be the ones dominating the African Cup of Nations, because they will be every year. That's when you see real competition. Because it means the Lagos Wharf is currently, in the states it is. That would mean that the Southeast or the old Eastern region can now decide that, okay, we want to have a functional wharf in Apapa. Onitsha must be functional. Azoji must be functional. Isakaba, is it? Abaka, what? Isakaba. Pardon me. Isakaba, I think he said Bakasi movie. Is it a Baka or whatever? In Akwa must be functional. Let us get out our comparative advantage. How did the legend Pa Awolowo, how did he build the first TV station in Africa? It's only when you control your thing. Why can't the Southwest and the Southeast decide that they will build a railway line from Lagos to Abakaliki? Why? Oh, it is in the exclusive list. How can we be holding ourselves down? That's why you will never think you are smart until you leave Nigeria. I schooled in Nigeria where a professor will come and tell you, oh, 90 to 100 is for God. 80 to 90 is for me. Well, if you try, you get A by when you get to 70 something. You think it's a joke, no matter what you want. And it happens. Nigeria makes you hit a ceiling. You hit that ceiling. You're running around in a circle. But suddenly, when people get out of Nigeria, they are given level playing field. They see someone sour. I went to university in Germany. I studied with freaking German language. I wrote exam with German. I never knew someone had something upstairs until you got challenged to that level. That people who have been speaking their mother tongue since they were born, and you that barely came a year and 6 months or 7 months ago will come and write the same exam where only your number is entered and you come out with flying colors. Why won't you pat yourself in the back and say you are not an idiot? But while you're in Nigeria, somebody will look into your face and tell you, if you don't buy my handout, you're not going to pass. You think it's a joke.
Nigeria must also be renegotiated so that these tensions, I want the central administration to listen to what Nnamdi Kanu is saying. I want them to listen to what the Oduduwa is saying. I want them to listen to what the men are saying. Because when you have a conflict in your house with your children, what do? Do you beat them? You do stop talking to them? You call them at a table and you ask them, it is in our best interest that we retain this thing, but what is it that you don't like? And if you do that in humility, then you will listen to the people and restructure your country in a manner that makes it sustainable. It is doable. I remember those of you who are spiritually inclined, on the day that God was creating man, there was a conversation. He asked, and let us create man in our own image.
Let us.
There was a conversation in the heavens.
Us. Not
Why
let
can't
me.
we have a conversation here on earth?
We have African diaspora, Africans that were born in the diaspora, or Africans that were born here and then later moved to the West.
Anyway, that's, you can see, I mean, I couldn't thank Professor Lumumba enough for lending his voice, because that his intervention is timely. What we need as a nation is that we have to come together and speak to one another. There is no two ways about it. Even now, it is, things happen in this nation. You think, I don't know, this is madness. You assembled people together in 2014 and they produced one of the best documents that could make you progress, your own progress. But what have you done? You chose to put them under the under the drawer. Schubladen is German. Sorry, forgive me. Yeah, you put them under the drawers. And basically, nothing. And you want to make progress. And as we speak, I just read one article the other day. Now, please, once more, for those of you joining me, once more this evening, it's, I know I'm looking at the ENDSars protests and those that been sued, and we looked at the DJ's testimony, and, again, this GJ Switch is now in Canada, according to her. Okay? So, if you just joining, like this video and give it a thumbs up. We continue. What we do here, as I keep telling us, is to review the facts. And in all these things that I have said, and again, I had this following. There is this information that I read today and I thought, that doesn't make sense. In all these things happening, yet the government of the day appears to favor certain people. I read that that the government has, the border is shut, but the border has been opened for Dangote cement. I thought, what a freaking nation. Who does that? Okay? Look at it here, people. Our border is closed, right? But we have reopened the border for, look at him here. See, I'm just reading this directly from online. And it says President Muhammadu Buhari has granted Dangote Group a special waiver that would allow the the conglomerate transport its products across the Nigerian borders into other West African countries. Bloomberg reported on Monday, citing an official disclosure. Okay, so Bloomberg is not a Nigerian destination. So what's that tell you? We're talking about where we should be negotiating and talking to ourselves as individuals, as human beings. Now, you read something like this, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? You ask yourself, we haven't done the things we ought to do, but here we are, you know. Oh, jeez. Sorry, but words fail me. Words fail me because I don't know what to say. Now, the report says that it was unclear why Mr. Buhari singled Dangote out for commercial clearance through land borders, which have been shut since August last year. August, September, October, November. That is 15 good months. But suddenly, voila, Dangote, the same man single-handedly building your refinery because a nation, an adult of 60 years cannot build refinery. A nation. Do you know what it means? You have water. You have water in your house beneath your foot. And you are so lazy that you cannot dig common well, not to talk of borehole, to extract your water. You can't. You can't maintain it. We are now, Nigeria as a nation, we are now waiting on Dangote to finish his refinery so that he will now be the one buying our oil to refine for us. Aren't we ashamed of ourselves? Those that promised us one refinery every year, it's 5 years now, and yet not a single, even the ones who working before, everything is now kaput. And we are making, we have directors or we have workers or working in the refinery, in the sectors, they get paid every month. Even when we are in recession, they get paid month in, month out. Yet there is nothing, no single production, no single oil dropping in there. We import the oils that we use, the fuel that we use. We export crude oil. We import only single item, PMS. Shame not they catch yourself. You know, say sometimes shame go leave Nigeria, they catch me as an individual. Because you look at all these things, it doesn't make sense. That is on a federal level. You come at a state level, it's the same thing. Replicated in 36 states. A blind woman with 2 knives. The one with the head is not sharp. The one that is sharp hasn't got any head. It's time. This government must come down from the high horse, must speak to the people. The government must speak to the people. The system doesn't work. The system has never worked. And the system is not working. Is that too much? Why is it that anyone, the moment you get into power, your brain, everything just evaporates. Everything you knew before you got into power evaporates. It beats me silly. The whole Nigeria, listen, we have, how many people do we have watching? We have over 600 people watching now. Can you tell me here, in your local government, let's assume 600 people divided by whatever, in your local government, do you have a functional toilet? When I say a functional toilet, where a woman can go in without not because I don't count the men, they can stand up and titrate, do their business, where a woman can actually go and sit down and do the big business without irritation, the way it is at other, maybe at the airports, international airports or elsewhere. Yet, the toilet you see at the local government council will be nothing, listen, 774, 76 local government, Not one, not one will you say that is functional. Now go to all those local government chairmen. 3/4 of them would have a functional toilet in their houses. That will tell you where the issue is. It's not that we don't know what to do, but we are too wicked to ourselves to do the right thing. Federal, state, local government, the same issue everywhere. Why? Sometimes we keep saying these things. I mean, it honestly, it drives me nuts. And here we are, Dangote. After 15 months, you give him license to lift, to use the same land borders, yet others do businesses and their business cannot come in through the land border. And we are in one country. We are in one country, right? Make una fear God, oh. Make una fear God, oh. Well, I would say, if you have any contribution to make, if not, I would call it a day. Because, discussing Nigeria, let me take some comments while if you want to make any comments, I'll probably leave just a couple of minutes for your comments and we'll call it a day for tonight. It's now 26 minutes past 10 here in Nigeria. So it is after 10 o'clock and I bet you my telephone battery is already going down. Oh, Yahweh, okay. Are you sure that okay that took ENDSars to court is not related to you? Just kidding, Yahweh. Yahweh, okay. Are you sure? Let me bring your comment to the screen. Are you sure it's not your relative? Because if it's your relative, we'll start the community beating from here. So we don't need to. We'll take the anger on you now. Here, live and direct. Yeah. Yeah. What do you want to take the community beating on behalf of? Because you bear the same last name. Okay. So let me take some comments for a couple of minutes, then I'll call it a day. As a Yoruba man, let me bring this here. That's the Niger boy. Says, as a Yoruba man, I think the entire South and Benue should pull all Arsenal together and defeat these people. Okay, I can't agree with you more, and I must agree with you with every single sentence there because I think the solution to the current quagmire, and I've been a proponent and I've been honestly because one thing I do is anything I believe in, I don't only speak it, I engage. And the southeast, the southwest, we've come a long way. And I like what I'm seeing. I like what is happening. And a lot is happening behind the scene. The whole southeast, southwest, and the middle belt, Forget that the middle belt sometimes dances with, they dance here, but we know where their heart is. It's about heart and leg. So their heart is somewhere and their leg is still a little bit wobbly, but slow and steady, we will get there. Honestly, I tell you, slow and steady, we will get there. Slow and steady. Oh, okay. So, okay. Are you denying your brother? He says, I know him not from Adam. You're lucky because the way people are feeling now, if people saw you, if people were actually seeing you now by your last name, okay, you probably would have received some panel beating before you would be shouting, I don't know him, I don't know him. Your face would have swollen up. Oh, that's me, that's my funny side. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Let me take this comment again. Say, can someone please get the phone number of Okeke for me? I want to. I think I like that. You know what? Let's put it out there. If someone is able to get his phone number, let's thank him for a job well done. I think it's a good idea. Whoever gets his telephone number, please bring it out. Let's thank him. He's doing a good job. He's doing well. He's doing well. Let's thank him. He's doing well. The Godfather says, I think this suit is an opportunity for everyone in the list to unite. It's not only those in the suit. It's all of us, because listen, SARS doesn't know who Mazezoka is. It doesn't know who you are. As long as you're not among the thieves that go around with maybe 10, 15 police escorts, But as long as you are like us, you are under serious problem. Okay? So I have Sokai Okoye, all Southern governors, senators, and lower house of assembly. There. Why do you call them useless? Okay? So, Sokai Okeke, this one you are angry this way. Are you related to Peter Okoye? Sorry, Okoye. Maybe because your relation is mentioned, that's why you're going. It's like people are actually liking this Okeke. Okeke, please look around wherever you are now. Make sure that nobody is coming from behind. They might give you some slap in absentia. They can tell you it is for your ancestors, for bearing descendant with the Okeke man that sued these people. Okay. So let me take a couple of more. Mazi, I can't thank you enough. You're just doing a good job. Thank you. Vielen Dank. Okay, vielen Dank. Basil Ezechima. Ja, danke schön. Ich hoffe, euch geht's gut in Deutschland. Es ist doch noch nicht so kalt, oder? Wenn es kalt ist, dann sagt doch Bescheid. Dann schicke ich dann was Warmes. Okay? Thank you. Thank God. Shomon. Yes, actually, yeah, you raised Delhi Ajuf. Oh, is that a comrade? Comrade. Delhi Ajufo was my guest. It was my guest last week. He's the dark comrade Delhi Ajufo. Delhi, you basically watching me. That's good. And he took a very fantastic stand. And let me read his comment. It says Ganduje's his bar destroyed 200 million. Exactly. Okay. So let me bring someone in. Somebody's on the phone. Hello, good day. Yeah, good evening. Who am I speaking to? Okay, Steve Nobana, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. I've been watching you for a few months now. I really like your opinion about everything.
Thank you very much.
I do not think Nigeria can be reformed.
Okay.
Nigeria cannot be reformed. I don't know where the reformation is going to start. In the education sector, Nigeria is messed up. Nothing is working in Nigeria. Absolutely nothing. I go to Nigeria every year. And every year things are getting worse. I am from Cross River State. A few years ago we had water running everywhere by Donald Duke.
No.
Now the water is not running. Everybody has gone back to buying water and borehole. Nigeria has collapsed completely. Nigeria is a banana republic. There is absolutely nobody that can reform Nigeria. Nigeria needs to be broken down and start all over again. We need a new constitution in Nigeria.
I agree with you.
Restructuring might work, but are they not the same human beings that are running this whole thing now are going to be there running it? I don't know.
No, you see, you just countered your argument. You said you need to break it down. So even if you break it down, the pieces that you broke down will still be run by human beings, not aliens, right?
Yes.
So it's a counter argument. But what I think, honestly, here, I think you are in America. It means that when you have a system that works, it doesn't matter, who runs it. The system will put you in check. If you're flying into Nigeria now, you land maybe in Port Harcourt. Every politician that flew and landed with you will be behaving until they land in Nigeria. And the moment they land in Nigeria, you see another side of someone you just sat before you. He behaves like an animal, right? And you ask yourself why. That's happened in Port Harcourt. The same person behaves the same way in Lagos. The same person behaves the same way if he lands in Uyo. The same person behaves the same way if he lands in Yola or Adamawa. Therefore, even if you, kind of slice it into those regions without the fundamental reconfiguration of the brain, it's a question of taking your own mad person, go home, taking your thief. Because even if you say you have these nations today, the thieves will be local, right? We have governors who have governed this nation and got money for their state, and they stole the monies meant for their state. What manner of rubbish is that? I mean, I'm from the Southeast. There are governors in the Southeast, former governors, I still have issues till today. They write me sometimes. I say, listen, I don't know. There are what we call unforgivable sin, the sin against the downtrodden. You're giving money to work for the people who have nothing to eat, and you just zap that money, and you want us to come on now, come on, we can do better. I think we can. Starting point could be that we start talking to each other. Nigeria wasn't entirely good before, but it was better. The only nation I know today that if I leave from Port Harcourt International Airport today, being 10th, if I come back the 10th of February next year, 3 months later, it's worse than I left it today. And it breaks my heart. It happens every day.
It is so sad because this is the country that I grew up in. Elementary school, high school, OND. Nigeria was working. It's not like Nigeria never worked. Nigeria used to work. When I was doing my OND in the 70s, Nigeria was working. I was on scholarship. My scholarship was paid.
So
We never had to go and bribe.
So can we blame your generation, because your generations are the ones telling us that you ate chicken in school. So, and you people afterwards, you people didn't want us to, or they want the younger ones to enjoy the same.
No, because I was never corrupt in Nigeria. I was in the forestry. I probably left before it collapsed completely.
See?
But things were working.
Okay.
I was in a position, I had 256 people working under me. Their salaries were paid on time. Before even on the 25th, 26th, the salaries were paid. Then I went back to Nigeria in the 90s. Then Nigeria, they started owing salaries. I'm like, hello? How could you be owing somebody's salary?
And I think, you see, now put it this way. When we talk about the things that are fundamentally wrong with the system, people need to have worked somewhere else to see and understand the reason why one of the cardinal sins, one of the greatest crime you could ever commit is not to pay people their wages or their salaries. Because, and that's why sometimes when I hear governors say we pay salaries on time, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's. I mean, I have employers. I have employees here where the kind of shock that every time they get their salary, I'm like, you don't need to thank me. I mean, you've worked. So you don't even need to say thank you, because it is your right. You don't it is your right. So don't thank me. I haven't done anything for you. For the fact that you put in the hours, it's your money, because it's only when you get that money that you pay your lighting bills, your electricity bill, your water, you buy gari, you pay your petrol. So without that money, are you going to thief? Are you going to steal? So anyway, sometimes it does my head, honestly. Sometimes it does my head. I can't understand it. And people are being owed every single time. People are being owed. People not getting their salaries. Anyway, thank you very much, sir. Someone else is on the line. Let me pick another call. Thank you for your call. Thank you.
All right.
So,
Thank you very much.
so
Continue your very, very good work.
thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and please share the videos and like it if you can. Thank you. We'll much appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you. So, hello. Hello, good evening.
Yes, Mazi, my name is Namakeze. I'm calling from Canada.
Okay. Nemeka, good evening. I'll be good. Well, it's evening here. I don't know what time it is over there, but go ahead, sir.
It's afternoon.
Okay.
Okay. What I just want to say is, I know Nigeria has gone to the extent that nobody, diaspora like Nigerians, that has faith on Nigeria anymore. You know, August here last year in Alberta, they elected the prime justice minister here, August, and that justice minister is in Nigeria. He's from Anambra State. You can imagine, like, Alberta is a province, and it's gonna be like, I think Alberta will be the most racist province if you want to compare in racial.
Yeah.
But
Because
black man. You know what he said when he came in? He said this is just his length to show how dream can be killed in Nigeria, for the fact that they elected him as a prime minister and justice minister in Alberta. You know, so he is one of the person. He makes decisions here in Alberta, but we have crackhead people governing us in Nigeria. All the whole thing that we are talking about, they're not even listening about it. They don't even think of it. And you see that Professor Lumumba that just talked now, he's coming to Anambra State this November. But because of this thing that he said now, I bet you the government will not allow him to come in.
Nah. The government, our government hasn't got that power on him. He's been saying it. I think one time in the national, I think where you have a joint sitting, he addressed them. I mean, he says
he came also and he addressed.
he's been always in. Yeah, he has always been in Nigeria. I think he comes to the Face of Okija every January. I mean, the last time he was there, I mean, we streamed it. So for him, I don't think they've got anything on him on that. I mean,
you see what Nigerian government can do? You can pray. It's just like Nigerian movie. You can predict it before it happens. Just watch, because the people you're dealing with, Hausas, they're not thinking. They don't even think at all. Like nothing is in their brain. They don't think at all.
No. I think it's wrong to say that they're not thinking. You know, it is wrong. I think it's this type of stereotype that I don't want to make it a regional thing, because the things we have is because it's not like we are perfect. We're not even there yet. So we are still wallowing in the same madness. I don't know if you see. I just give you an example before. You have local governments, 770 something in Nigeria. You do not have a functional toilet in the south, in the north, in the west, in the east, everywhere. So it's not about they're not thinking. We're not equally thinking, because if we are thinking, we shouldn't be in this mess. We haven't shown capacity that we are better, but we.
I understood what you're saying, but the problem now comes to, like, you will see, even when Obasanjo or Goodluck is in the power, there is a little slightly different on how they approach situation. You don't just arrest people because they raise a voice. You don't arrest them because they say they don't want this. I don't know if you understand it. Look at the way now they're closing people's accounts. Seizing somebody's passport is unconstitutional. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's not because people, they can retaliate. People can retaliate. Government can do anything they want. But there's some certain things that you don't need to do. You need to engage with the citizen. And the approach that this government has now is quite different from any other past government.
Okay.
That's the thing. That's my own opinion. You know, I understood, I mean, what you're saying and stuff. But we're just going. We'll see how all this thing unfolds.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before you go, I'll ask you this question. They've asked me to ask you this question. They say,
okay,
do you know the telephone number or the address of this Okeke?
Okeke, who is Okeke? I don't know who Okeke is.
The guy that sued, you know, we talked about it before. We have somebody who sued the ENDSars. You know, he went to court and he sued ENDSars for the violence that ensued after that. I think he's an activist. He's called Kenechukwu Okeke. So people making their comments said, if you know him, and I think they want to send him some goodwill messages to say thank you.
Oh no, I honestly don't know who
Anyway,
is.
it's fine. That was that was a joke. I wish you caught that earlier. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No problem,
thank you very much, my dear. Thank you. Oh, there. Oh, people, I think the suggestions you guys are making on this OKK is really funny. Ifeanyi Peter said, let's start looking for it. Please, oh, I am not oh dear, I'm just laughing. Okay, so let me I think something here, Longinus Okere, see, Longinus, I think Longinus has changed his name from Okeke to Okere. Maybe Longinus is scared because of because of being Okeke. Now he added R instead of K. Longinus, you might tell us that you didn't change your name just now, because the way it is, it appears you added you changed your name because of Okeke. So let me get to, I think I've been taking divergence view here. I think I saw one Usman. Okay, Musa Usman says Igbos are the major problem of Nigeria. Musa Usman Kabir. Usman, if you can expatiate on your point, so let's know how Igbos are the major problem. And on the comment section, please, I beg us, let's keep it civil. You know, even if when someone is trying to upset you, please trying to be civil. Okay, and I like it. Chooks Bond kept it civil. Chooks Bond said, Musa, what do you know about the Igbos? That's a very cogent question. So let him tell us what he knows about Igbos. And Musa Usman, Yawo Keke, the one that's denied his cousin already, says Musa Usman Kabir, every beginning has an end. I think you're now speaking in parables. Okay, so keep it civil. Let's not fight. You know, at the end of the day, any one of us that is sliced and cut, we only have blood coming out. And to bring this broadcast to a conclusion, one thing we have to know is it is about us. Don't you for one second think because you are in the diaspora that the issue of ENDSars doesn't concern you or that it doesn't affect you. Of course it does. I have had a friend who came down from Amsterdam. You know, he works and he has a living. He came down and got his car. He was driving from Lagos, you know, to the east. And he told me that when he got to Benin, or he said when he got before the Benin bypass, he was stopped. And they looked at his phone. This individual is married to a Dutch woman. And they looked at his phone, his conversation with, obviously, if you live in the society, you have colleagues, and you will be communicating with people. And they looked at those conversations and said, he's a Yahoo, Yahoo. And was like, he started laughing. And because, there is some level of, some accusations that will be thrown at you. All the first thing you do is to laugh because you think maybe that individual is gone gaga, you know. But before you knew it, he was threatened to a point that, you know, Mr. Dufo, Delhi, Comrade Delhi Ajufo, I think I might want to bring you in. Let me hear your opinion on this matter because you've made mention before of the beer, or rather the beer parlors, and I found it a little bit also upsetting. And that I asked a genuine question to people. I said, does it mean that Nigerians actually get money, or rather, after we sell alcohol, the money is shared, right? The VAT is shared, and these northern states also get this money. So why are they destroying these drinks? Why don't you send these drinks out of the state? Because if I'm the seller, you come in and you confiscate this. And obviously, the reason why you sell this drink is because you have buyers. And if you think you don't need to sell it, then you should stop it from the point of entry. Or if you collect it, you can send it back to the brewers, or you task the person. You can find somebody. If you get my drink and my drink is worth about 50 million, why would you destroy it? Why don't you find me 500,000 or whatever? Ask me, give me 1 or 2 weeks to do away with those drinks, as opposed to, because the moment you've destroyed this drink, which I understand runs into millions, I think it's about 20 million, no, 200 million, sorry, according to Sahara reporters. So if that happens, then you ask yourself, are you in the same federation? I would, if Delhi Ajufo could ring me, let me bring him on and see if he's willing to have this conversation. Delhi Ajufo, please, if you can ring me on either line, I can bring you on, if that is okay, because I don't want to ring. I don't know if you want to speak about it, but if you would, I would bring you in so that we hear your views on this. I like your take, and I like your views on some of these issues. But I found it. Let me actually quickly grab that, because if not, I don't think many of you probably would have seen that news. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think. Yeah. Good evening, comrade. Yes. Good evening, sir. You are live now, so that.
Yes, I'm following the program all along.
Okay.
And it's rather interesting.
Thank you.
I am miffed by the docility of our southern leaders. We sell tobacco and alcohol all over the southern region and the Middle Belt area. And we're denied the sale of these same products in the north. Kanu, Kaduna. If you have to buy these things, you have to go to the Mami barracks. What they call Mami barracks.
Yes.
If you're in Katsina or Kaduna or Kanu, you need alcohol, you have to go to the Mami barracks where the soldiers have their outlets. Now, the problem is this. You do not allow us to sell alcohol in your region. And the hypocrisy of the leaders of the North, who call themselves Sharia compliant human beings, is that they partake of the proceeds of that from alcohol sold in the South.
So why don't we
It's like
stop?
saying,
Why don't we
I
stop?
don't want to eat.
Why don't we stop the?
Well, I believe if the leaders of the South have bottle, what I mean by bottle courage,
I know.
they should advocate for localization of VAT process.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever process from food and consumable items like the area of sale. Sorry that if you are in Lagos, VAT consumed in Lagos must be billed to the Lagos government. It must not go to the federation account. It is hypocrisy.
I agree with you because it doesn't make sense actually. Because when I saw, the sad part is, that those, not only that the beer or the bottles were destroyed, right? They also went ahead and destroyed the buildings. I mean, and I thought that's pure madness.
If I may add, you see, they're playing to the gallery. They're playing to the gallery. If you go to Dubai, you are allowed to buy alcohol at the airport upon arrival. That alcohol you buy upon arrival, you are allowed to consume it within your precincts. And these are, totally Islamic societies. As of today, the United Arab Emirates is considering liberalizing their mode of existence to allow for bars and public places where alcohol will be consumed. I don't advocate mad drinking of alcohol, but they know that people who come from outside the area enjoy these things, and for them it's part of the growth of the economy.
Well, it is honestly, I do not need to tell people how they will consume it. If you want to consume it, it is your, we have laws. If you break this, what's it called, the traffic light, or if you're caught drinking and drunk driving or whatever.
There are consequences for excessive consumption of alcohol.
Exactly.
Anywhere in the world.
Exactly. So that's what should be applied, not this madness of destruction.
But do we have leaders who can advocate this in this country? In the South, for instance, today you heard what happened. Dangote has been given permission to break the rule for land border to transport goods in and out. And yet you're closing the border in cement. Why one set of rules for some and a different set for others? I'm not a leader, I'm not a politician, but I find this obnoxious. So we have to blame our leaders, really. Remember the last time we appeared together on your program, we talked about Wike and his shenanigan in the East, in Port Harcourt. The Eastern governors went there to plead. You have not sympathized with the people who were killed. You're offering money to those who have been killing your people all the time. And you have not made effort to compensate the victims, continuous victims who have been raped in your neighborhood, who have been maimed in your neighborhood, whose crops have been destroyed in your neighborhood. What balderdash? I'm sad, truly sad.
Honestly, it is. It is indeed, because I look at these things, it breaks my heart. Because we are business people, 1,975 bottles of beer worth over 2 million. I'm just showing it. Sorry, 200 million. Yeah, sorry, 200 million. Look at it. Now, you see where the hypocrisy is here. I won't mention his name. A former governor from one of the northern states came one time in Wiesbaden, Germany. Now, this is one of the Sharia proponents. You cannot believe the level of alcohol this guy was consuming in his hotel.
Mazi, we should name them and shame them.
Well,
listen to me. The protagonist of Sharia in Nigeria during Obasanjo's tenure was Abdullahi, Yerima Abdullahi, whatever we call him, of Zamfara. He is bigger consumer of stout.
Okay.
Let them understand that we know their secret.
Exactly. You said it. And some of them, you see that small kettle they have. It contains, sometimes it contains whiskey. There is one. Like when I lived in Yola, I used to like Kunu. Now, if you leave that Kunu, outside the fridge 2 days. It ferments and it becomes beer. Hmm? And there are no people there, religious leaders. Those were their main high points. You know, I think. Okay, you are back now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We in the South should troll our leaders. I don't blame them at all. We allow them the excesses. We have kept quiet and they ride roughshoots over us. We have a saying in my place in Delta State: if a woman leaves a cooking pot outside of the house, people will use it as a dustbin.
That's
We have
correct.
kept quiet. We are not advocating equity. We are acquiescing to domination. It's like we are scared.
Hmm.
And
Well,
I don't know.
Comrade here, one thing we have to do is to keep pushing that, especially on this issue of alcohol. My problem is, I mean, you can regulate and you can punish people if they break state law, but the total destruction is what I am totally against. I mean, I have on my screen here a news saying that United Arab Emirates relaxes Islamic law on alcohol, and
I just said it earlier on.
exactly. So, and it boggles the mind because I remember last year I was in Dubai early, January, and while we were on, the tallest, the tallest, what's it called, Marriott. Now, while we were on the 86th floor, the bar, and you cannot believe what is happening there. I have never seen that in Europe, neither have I seen that in Nigeria. You see women of easy virtue flocking on that floor. That's, I'm telling you. And many of them that I saw there, when you speak to them, you see there are some Tanzanians and some mostly Nigerians, right? Now, even while that was going on, I was like, this is the same country that says they are an Islamic nation, right? And voila, guess who walked in? The Sheikh himself, who is like the president of UAE, walked in and greeted everybody, where people were drinking alcohol, where these women were as well. And me there standing in disbelief because I couldn't.
That sheikh that walked in wasn't looking at what was happening there. He was checking at the tail.
Exactly. It's none of his freaking business.
For the development of the place has become more developed than most European countries. So we are deceiving ourselves here and we're playing to the gallery. And because of the preponderance of ignorance and illiterate people in the north, they continue to perpetuate this rubbish. If you want to save this country, educate the northern Almajiris, the Hausas. You don't have an Hausa minister today in this country. Do you know that? Every minister from the core north is a Fulani man. Mm-hmm. You don't have an Hausa governor anywhere in the north, in the core north. They're all Fulanis. You do not have emirs of Hausa origin.
No. Emirs, I think that has been taken away from them. They no longer have it. It's the emirs are now basically is a sultanate for them. It's what they just give to themselves. They gift it. We saw what happened in Southern Kaduna, where the chief of what's it called? Can't remember the name again. The chief was basically invariably dethroned, and that's it. Nothing happened, and eventually, they took over. You cannot come to a place where you are the minority and you begin to prop up an emir and so what. Anyway, thank you.
I'm talking about Korno. I'm not talking about Southern Kaduna, Zango Kataf, and those places. No, it can't happen in Zango Kataf, but it happened in Wase, in Plateau State. There's an emir in Wase, in Plateau State. We have a lot of shenanigans to go on in that part of the world, and they want to bring it down to the south. And we have stooges as leaders in the south, particularly our Igbo land. I'm sorry to say, but we are the biggest stooges. It's like we have leaders who cannot think beyond them. They don't think outside the box. They're all looking at 2023. Under what constitution? That's a matter for another day.
Anyway, that's I think that's a different conversation that we need to come up another day and have. Thank you very much, my brother, for joining this conversation this evening. Thank you very much.
Bless you, Mario.
Okay, thank you.
I'm enjoying your program. It always pops up on my phone.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Yeah. So, people, thank you very much for joining me this evening. I think I have to call it a day, and I will say, join me next on Friday. I will be having my Friday hangouts. That will be, I think, 7 o'clock Nigerian time. So, make our time. Join me. If you want to make your contribution, you can save the number on the screen on that day. I would be making out the topics for discussion. The topic that we normally discuss is based on what has happened within the week. I only have to do this today because I felt, it is still fresh. Let's have this conversation today. On that note, I will say thank you very much once more, wonderful people. You know, coming in from everywhere, every part of the world. I think those callers that have called in this evening, thank you very much for your time. I do not take your time for granted. For many of you watching me that haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. Like Comrade Delide told you, when you subscribe to this channel and click on the red button for notification, that means anytime I come online, even when it's unscheduled, you get notification that I'm online so that you can join me. And that will be nice that I will have you back again. So if you haven't liked the video, please do like the video by just clicking on that like button. It's a YouTube algorithm that helps others discover the video. Because you've enjoyed it, it's going to recommend it for others to do. On that note, I will say remain blessed and good night, everyone. Peace out.